A lot of people want to play the game, but those select few choose to play to win. And it's really fulfilling knowing that we have so many powerful women that inspire me to be better at every area of my life. And I broached this idea with Amy, and to her credit, she's like, yeah, I'd love to. Can I just be real? So trust me, you're getting... What's that? Well, no. There may be kids in and out of here. And then to her credit, you know what she said? She goes, there's others that we've got to make sure have a chance to share as well. Can I pull them up too? And I said, absolutely. So please welcome to the stage DEA Black Level Extraordinaire, coach, inspiring human being. So you got to learn to receive this, sis. You got to learn to. Amy, come on up here. Amy Taylor, everybody, give her a hand. You're incredible.
Oh, God,
She doesn't know how to take compliments very well.
No, I'm rubbish at it. So just so you all know, you're all sitting on the toilet right now. It makes it a little bit easier. I'm just bringing some water because I'm really parched today. Sorry? Yeah, it's fine.
Now here's the rule. You got to stay in the square right there.
Okay.
This is the cage.
Awesome. No one puts Amy in a box, JJ. Cool. So yeah, you're all on the toilet and you're all naked as well.
Take this thing off the screen. Please.
Not all pretty. Cool. So hello, everybody. My name is Amy Taylor. For those of you that don't know me, I have been with SFM and DEA since the beginning of 2014. And like a lot of people, that was prompted by something a bit shit happening, which unfortunately seems to be a trend that we need to buck with our messaging, because I think too many people wait for something crap to happen. And it was the death of my uncle. I'd been overseas working, kind of living the dream that I'm now working towards again. And he was diagnosed with cancer and was given 18 months to live. I dropped everything, came home, and he died in 4 weeks. And it was kind of that moment, that was my wake-up call. So I won't go into like my life history or anything. I'm sure I've said that on several calls that some of you might have been on. But that was when I started realizing, like, this is crap. And I had no money in the bank. I was kind of running down my savings, and I'd been working. I sort of work for 6 months and then get 2 months off with a job I had. I was working on cruise ships. So I was kind of getting to the point where I was going to have to go back into a job, and I very, very shortly was. So I was back in the rat race. I was working as a travel agent on pretty average money. And everything was just average. Like, there was no huge sob story. I'm sure everybody's had something to know someone affected by cancer or has lost someone. I don't consider anything in my life to be horrendous. But everything was just average, and I just had that message that I'm sure everyone in that room, in this room, has had at some point. So stumbled across an ad. It wasn't Stu on a pedalo. He hadn't done it at that point. It was actually Stu in an environment a bit like this at an event. And I thought, this guy is really inspiring. He's kind of, I just related to his story. He'd been in a state agency, very, very similar background. Well, he probably earned a lot more money in a state agency than I was as a travel agent. But something just clicked, and that was about 6 months. I didn't actually submit an app until the end of the year when I was back in work and I had a bit more money behind me, and that was where it began. So that's a bit about how long I've been here and how long I think you need to give it as an absolute minimum before you start writing this off. And what the guys were saying earlier about trying, just get rid of that. Go now. Like, just this. I kind of wanted to come in here and talk about the reality of my journey, because I don't consider myself to have made it at all, and I think that's a long way off. And some of the shifts and experiences that I've had that are a bit more real, like, these guys are incredible. I look up to them. I want what they've got eventually. But I think, like, who's feeling pumped now? Right now? Everyone, do you think you're going to feel like that tomorrow? Actually, tomorrow's a bad example, because if you're staying tonight, you definitely won't feel like that tomorrow. Next week, like, do you think you're still going to feel that, like, oh, this is amazing? Yeah. Do you? Awesome. Or in 6 months, if you're still here in 6 months. And I would suggest there's probably a few in here that won't be. But the point is, at some point it gets real, and Stu touched on it earlier. And there's just been a couple of shifts that have happened for me recently from things that I've read, pursued as a result purely of coming into this to begin with. So life is, I've not been consistent. I've had periods where I was really consistent. And then I got to a point doing it around my job, staying up till 2 o'clock in the morning. My diet was Pringles. It was horrendous. And then I'd get a few results and go, cool, I got this. Being consistent. And I basically just got to a point where I was similarly pro rata making more money in this in a couple of hours a week sometimes, and miserable at my job. And like Jay said this morning, I was a shit employee. I was sat at my desk, like going through the back office, writing a blog post in Outlook email so it looked like I was emailing a client when actually it was just to email to myself to put into a blog post that night. Sounds like other people might have done the same thing. And I had previously quite enjoyed my job and I'd been very good at it. I'd gone to awards, global awards and stuff, and I was just like, why, this can be done in 2 hours a week. Anyway, long story short, I quit my job last August and was like, this is effing ridiculous. And not that I hadn't replaced my income, I'll be completely honest with everybody about that, but I got to a point where I was like, what if I focused on this for 6 months, a year with nothing else? So, a bit like Justin, I was like, how can I raise this money? And just as a tip, for anyone in the UK, you can get credit cards for 0% interest for up to 2 years now. I'm not suggesting anybody goes and does that, but just FYI. If 2 years isn't long enough, you're not working hard enough. So that opportunity is there. I discovered another one the other day that I've just applied for. So just a financial tip. So I did some reshuffling of finances. I'd previously bought investment property. I had a bit of leverage and just said, fuck it, basically. We're apparently swearing today, so I'm not going to add my disclaimer that I was going to add. And I spent a lot has happened that I didn't expect as a result of quitting my job, because I was still kind of doing this thing of, when I quit my job, when I've got the time, then I'll work harder. I quit my job and I had a month of feeling exhausted. Like, I don't have children, I just have myself to look after. I'm single, I don't have any responsibilities. And I pledged that I was going to start the 90-day video challenge when I quit. And I did, with a massive hangover day one. And I was like, I got to day 4, and I did my video, and I watched it back after I put it into the group, and I was like, you look horrendous. And I was just physically exhausted, and I looked back on it, and I was like, I don't think we realise how much it takes out of you physically doing something on a regular basis for so long. And I'm 33. So I just can't picture doing that until you're 60 and what it might do to you. And I'm convinced that had something to do with what happened to my uncle and what manifested cancer to a degree, but I'm not going to get into that conversation. But yeah, I was gobsmacked. So I basically then went, I need some more time off. So I took the rest of the year off, and I did a lot of travelling, but all my travelling was based around SFM events. So I went to the Gold Convention in Vegas, went to a couple of Momentum days like this, I went to the Black Retreat in Mexico, and then I had a second excuse to go to Australia and New Zealand because I used to live there and I've got family there. Went to the Down Under Momentum Day, and I swear to God, if I hadn't done any of that, I wouldn't be in the position to have hit the ground running in January with my marketing. And January to now with my marketing is the first time that I've been consistent. And I can tell you that every single thing that Stuart Ross says, please just do it. Stick to one platform, stick to one strategy, stick to consistency, and just do the fucking work. Like, it does pay off, but it's only at 6 months in that I've had the results to go, okay, I can relax a bit now. It's been really scary. And part of, for me, I've kind of just had this relaxation thing and realization of a few things. And one of the things I wanted to share with you was this feeling of this word that keeps coming up, especially from the likes of Stu and Justin and JJ and all the guys that have kind of been there, done it, got bored of it, moved on to bigger and higher purposes. I get really frustrated with that because you come to an event and you see someone who's going, I'm so passionate about my business, I'm living my purpose, which is amazing. But just for a minute, I just kind of want to shit all over that concept, because when I quit my job, I had loads of people coming up to me and saying, I think it's so amazing that you're following your passion. And every time someone said it to me, I was like, if one more person tells me I'm following my passion, I'm going to cry, scream, sweat, one or the other. I just got really frustrated with it. Huh? Punch them. Yeah, I can be violent. But it's just by show of hands, has anyone ever said to someone else or had it said to them, just follow your passion? No one else said it? Or you believe in following your passions or something like that. And then has anyone ever straight after that had that same feeling of like, I don't know what the fuck my passions are? Like, and what I've realised, and it was actually through reading a book by a lady called Elizabeth Gilbert. Has anybody heard of her? Has anyone heard of Eat, Pray, Love? She wrote that. And I'll talk about that a bit first. So when anyone says, what's one of your favourite books or what was the first book you read, I used to say Rich Dad, Poor Dad, because it's like that's what I read off of the back to going on a property investment seminar, and it was got me thinking entrepreneurially and all the rest of it. But it was actually, when I think back, and as a result of doing something like Platinum, it was Eat, Pray, Love. So textbook time that someone might read this book, female, I'd just gone through a broken engagement, went on a 5-day bender to visit a friend in Dubai, and I was by the pool reading Eat, Pray, Love, and it just shifted my mindset from an emotional perspective to go, stop wasting your time. So I got over it a lot quicker than I probably would have done. But I then became a massive, massive Elizabeth Gilbert fan. And she, last year, released a book called Big Magic, Creative Living Beyond Fear. Has anyone read it? Awesome. So there's a whole chapter that she wrote on when she was starting out as a writer, and she's actually from Jersey. I think Jay might know her, actually. But she was doing the classic thing of she actually knew that her passion was writing, so she was doing it in her evenings around waitressing work, bar work, that kind of thing. And she knew it's only in hindsight that writing this latest book that she's realised it's actually a really horrible thing to say to someone, or that she did at times feel like when someone said, just write about your passion, she'd be like, 2 fingers, just I hate that, I hate being told that, because she was writing fiction and whatever. But in this book, this whole chapter is about replacing the word passion or follow your passion with curiosity. And this was a shift that was massive for me, and it's got me thinking when things get tough, which if they haven't yet, I assure you they will, in terms of figuring out how to place an ad on Facebook, figuring out where to put that pixel. Why isn't this banner just doing what I want it to do? Like, just stay curious, because there's a lot less weight behind the word curious or curiosity. And passion is like, especially when you see Stu, Jay, Justin, JJ talking, passion is this giant thing. And I think I'm passionate, but passion, it's like this pressure to find something you haven't found yet. Whereas curiosity is a bit more of an everyday thing. It's not as fully loaded. So that was a huge, huge shift for me. And it's now, I've got into meditation as well and various other things. And it's just like that anchoring point of going, I'm just going to stay curious about this and get curious about something else. Like, you're probably in this room because you got curious about, for example, Stu just started talking. I was hovering over the skip ad button on YouTube, but I didn't for some reason. You were curious, and then you clicked a bit more, or you got curious and you clicked a bit more. And that's what's got you here. So don't let the real work, which will start when you leave here, stop you continuing to be curious. Just replace your language. It's as simple as that. And that's essentially what Justin's saying about the bigger stuff. And when it comes to sharing, or if we're going to go down if a lot of people are asking the question about budget and strategies without needing a big budget, if you're going to go down the content route, and again, if you haven't experienced this, you will at some point, going, I don't know what to write about. What do I have to share? I don't have the results. I just wanted to read you a comment that I got on a video. So as a result of being in the community, when I've not been focusing on being an affiliate, I got so much more out of it anyway. So I started this whole journey of personal development, and among other books and courses and seminars and webinars, I went on the Landmark Forum, which some of you may have done, some of you might have heard of. And I met sort of 10 people in the community that had done it, who were all just like, just do it. It's the cheapest therapy you'll ever had. And I was in a really good place. I didn't feel that I needed it. But it was when I did my first 90-day challenge. I was still working, I still had my day job, and I thought, well, for the next, I was struggling to come up with my list of what am I going to talk about today. And I was on the Landmark Forum, which is 3 days. So I thought, well, for those 3 days, I'll just review the day. And I remember thinking when I was researching Landmark Forum, all I found was hate, which is what we were saying earlier. If you go looking for it, that's what you're going to find. I didn't find any positive reviews in it. But I knew plenty of people had done it who I trusted, who I knew were in the community. And I thought, well, okay, I'll do that. And if nothing else, it will help someone who's looking at Landmark Forum. So I want to give you this example because it's not SFM related. However, it was on my YouTube channel that had other videos and content on that I was doing for my marketing, and still feeling like this is not my passion. Like right now, I still don't feel that the affiliate marketing model is my passion. It's just a vehicle, and it's staying curious about that with the knowledge and trusting that process that I'll get to where they are one day. Not necessarily from a financial perspective, but that feeling of I genuinely want to get out of bed today and love what I'm doing. Because right now I don't, if I'm honest. I don't jump out of bed going, oh, AdWords. like Jay and I were talking about it. Like he's doing Amazon, and he's very friendly with people doing $1 million a month on Amazon. I'm very friendly with people doing a lot of money with SFM, purely with SFM or in other affiliate marketing models. And it's like, why aren't I doing it then? It's probably because it's not my passion, but I'm just going with it. Just stay curious, just keep going with it until you will reach that point. So anyway, back to quickly Elizabeth Gilbert. So struggling writer, wrote fiction was her passion. And she was starting to think, I don't know if this is what I'm going to do. I still love writing. It will just be my escape. I'm never going to try and make money from it. Then she went through a horrendous divorce, and she just decided that she was taking a year out. She was going to do like a belated gap year. And she essentially just journaled about her divorce. That became an international bestseller, Eat, Pray, Love, 10 million copies. Like, she just shared. So this 90-day video challenge, for the 3 days that I was doing it, I'll just review each day of the Landmark. I'm going to have to put my glasses on because I'm going to look like my mother, but I can't read. I can read, but very, very short-sighted. So I put this on my YouTube channel on day 3. That was in May last year. It's organic. I've never, ever blogged it. I didn't even send it to my list, I don't think. Never, ever shared it, really. I shared it on my personal Facebook, but I didn't send it to my list or anything like that. And even at that point, my list was tiny. But I just checked it before I came in here. It's organically had 13,000 views, organically, and something like 200 comments, loads of interacting arguments. It's hilarious. Lots of hate, but lots of positivity. And there was just one comment that always stood out to me. And I want to share it with you so that you get the idea, hopefully, of just share your day if that's all you've got to talk about, because it is about your perspective. And even though I don't think I found my passion yet, this keeps me passionate about this process. So I was going into work. I'd got up, gone to the gym. I felt amazing after the gym. Within 5 minutes of sitting down at my desk, I felt shit. Straight into my personal email. And I had this notification that this comment had been left. And I just want to read it to you. So it's just my review. I'd done a 5-minute review, or might have been a bit longer than that, of the 3rd day of this personal development workshop. Hi, Amy. I wanted to say this video changed my life. I am forever thankful that you shared. And she could have stopped there and I'd have been really happy. I'm 26 years old and I attended my first Landmark Forum last week. After 3 years of a dedicated self-development journey of dozens of events, many books, many audiobooks, and spiritual teachings, I made the decision to attend. I would have left the event after day 1 and never looked back if it was not for your video. Day 2 and 3 has brought a perspective on life that allows me to now clearly see what all these spiritual leaders around the world are attempting to get us all to understand. I was blinded by my own ego my entire life. The answer was right in front of my face the whole time. Landmark Forum was the missing link for me to now understand the highest spiritual teachers that I have never got before. For the first time ever, I'm now walking around without fear. Before the event, I was terrified of leaving the house, terrified of the world, and worrying how I would never be good enough. all of that worry is gone now, and it's all thanks to your video. Life is a gift. God bless. I burst into tears at my desk. I'm quite close now, actually. But it was just like, shit. Like, and I just kind of got it. And that was nothing to do with SFM. It was just, this is what I've done today. I didn't like all the negativity I saw. And it was, I think I was in my pajamas in bed because I was just like, I need to do this. Well, it was 2 o'clock in the morning. I need to do this now. And that, it was just my day. And that's kind of, I hope I'm putting it into words that are hitting home, because it's just, if you're scared or you're, the curiosity factor just removes that fear. I was curious what all these people were talking about with Landmark. I didn't want to miss out. So I went on Landmark. I was curious as to what would happen if I shared it. And it's just stay curious. Don't be pressured by this notion of passion, because like that kept me passionate. So I honestly believe that just a little bit of that every day, it will get you there. It's just small steps. And I know Stu uses the analogy of the steps into the clouds every day. And I think just lose, if you don't know your purpose or your passion yet, just drop it from your language and use curiosity and be passionate about that, if that makes sense. Go ahead.